Yeah, I reached in through the window and held her head up so she could breathe.
Good evening. First at 5, jumping into action when a retired police officer saw this, a serious crash on the side of the road. He knew he had to act to try to save a woman's life. Thanks for joining us on this Memorial Day. I'm David Molko, and that former officer also happens to be a Marine Corps veteran. Blair Best joins us now. Blair, this part of Northwest Portland also has a history of tragic crashes.
That's right. According to city data, since 2010, 3 people have died in car crashes along Northwest Yon Avenue, and 7 suffered serious injuries. Now, the latest death was a woman this past Friday. I talked with a retired Portland police officer who saw the crash and did everything he could to help her survive before rescue crews arrived.
There was a woman pinned in one of the cars.
It was about 4 p.m. Friday when Steve Harmon and his wife were driving down Northwest Yon Avenue on their way to a family barbecue.
An accident had just occurred. We pulled up and saw it. It looked like a really bad accident.
Harmon was a Portland police officer for 25 years. Before that, he served in the U.S. Marine Corps. When he saw the crash, he immediately tried to help.
It just comes back to you. And then in the military as well. Yeah, I reached in through the window and held her head up so she could breathe. And then once the fire got there, they, of course, extracted her and took her off to the hospital.
Portland police say that's where she later died. Others involved in the crash were not injured.
Just brought back memories of when I was on a job, and it's very sad when someone loses their life over that.
This is just one of 27 deadly crashes in Portland this year. That's according to Portland police. In 2015, the Portland Bureau of Transportation started a Vision Zero program, aiming to eliminate traffic deaths and serious injuries in the city by 2025. But the numbers are far from zero. Last year alone, 63 people died in traffic crashes. That's the highest number in about 3 decades.
The sadness brought me back about a lot of memories I had being a police officer and covering accidents and stuff where people died. And so it was sadness, just one of those things.
Portland police are asking anyone with information on this crash to give them a call.
We want to thank Steve for his efforts there for trying. Thank you, Blair. An update on shootings in Portland, especially this weekend, an especially violent start, I should say, to the holiday weekend. Police say within a 24-hour period starting Friday morning, at least 10 people were shot in 10 different shootings. You can see them all marked on the map here. 1 person was killed. Others suffered injuries ranging from minor to critical, and police say 2 of the victims were unintentionally shot. We've posted a timeline for you on KGW.com. Anyone with information about any of these, 10 of them, is asked to contact police. Well, let us take you to Uvalde, Texas now, where the Justice Department is launching an investigation into the response to the elementary school massacre. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed by an 18-year-old gunman, and questions swirling tonight about what police could and should have done in order to save lives. NBC's Morgan Chesky with more on the growing pleas from parents.
This morning in Uvalde, Texas, growing calls for action in the wake of unspeakable tragedy.
A lot of school shootings need to stop. They need to do something.
The tight-knit town welcoming President Biden and the First Lady Sunday. They spent hours consoling families of those killed inside Robb Elementary. As the president left a Texas church, one onlooker urging him to help, prompting this response. Upon his departure from Texas, the president tweeting the White House's commitment to turning pain into action. At the request of the Uvalde mayor, the shooting now the focus of a federal investigation. The Department of Justice writing, its goal is an independent account of law enforcement actions and responses, adding they intend to identify lessons learned and best practices to help first responders prepare for and respond to active shooter events. Those who were there still grappling with the shock.
I just kept hearing boom, boom, boom. It just kept going off, and it felt like an eternity.
As the gunman walked towards her school, teacher Nicole Ogburn shouted for her kids to hit the floor just seconds before gunfire shattered her classroom windows.
I had one student laying on top of me, and I had a bunch of other students right over here by me, and I just remember praying, please God, keep us safe.
Ogburn and her 15 students managed to scramble to safety when she learned as many as 19 officers waited 47 minutes before engaging the gunman. The Uvalde native said this.
Where do you believe blame should lie?
On the person that came in my school and shot at us. That's the person that's to blame.
Outside her school, a memorial is growing. Thousands waiting hours in the Texas heat to place flowers and stuffed animals in front of the 21 white crosses. Now as the town prepares for 21 funerals, others here asking what needs to happen to save another community from this pain.
People to come together so we can change. We need change, not just weapons, but on all fronts.
Morgan Chesky reporting there. An update returning from his trip today. The president said he views an assault firearms ban as a, quote, rational, end quote, option for gun control without violating gun rights.
And remember, the Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute. You couldn't buy a cannon when the Second Amendment was passed. You couldn't go out and purchase a lot of weaponry.
The president there crediting a federal assault rifle ban that expired back in 2004 for reducing gun deaths while it was in effect. A bipartisan group of senators began informal talks about possible federal action last week, and while Congress is now on recess until next week, we understand those discussions are ongoing. Yeah, for the first time since 2019, the National Memorial Day Parade returned to the nation's capital in full force, and with all the pageantry across the country today, Americans are honoring fallen military heroes and their sacrifices. This parade was canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic and was held last year, but without the crowds, without the atmosphere, and with the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan last year, this is the first Memorial Day in 2 decades that the nation is not at war. And we have plenty of Memorial Day ceremonies in our area too. Tonight, Stephen Redlin takes us on a tour of some of the largest as millions across our region and our country remember.
All around the area, Memorial Day events honor the military personnel who've died while serving our country.
What's so proudly we...
This is the day for anthems, but days of preparation have gone into making it special. Last week, these scouts placed flags at Willamette National Cemetery.
And this may be, the only time their name is read aloud, their service is recognized.
Never forget what they did. They being those who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
On Memorial Day, they were recognized. Those present saw the flags and appreciated the memory.
And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me.
The rain did not keep people away from the Salem World War II Memorial.
History is always interesting. Puts into perspective how many people lost their lives in World War II.
Nearly 6,000 Oregon servicemen lost their lives during World War II. Today, via live stream, they were memorialized statewide by Oregon's Department of Veterans Affairs.
I think it's a good thing to reflect on war.
Nationwide, more than 645,000 have lost their lives in combat since World War I. For the first time in 2 years, the USAA Poppy Wall of Honor is on the National Mall in D.C.
And so the poppy is a semblance of remembrance here in the U.S., Canada, the U.K., Australia.
One poppy represents a life given to protect our American freedom.
And getting educated, which is our goal, on what Memorial Day is all about.
Losing your life fighting for the United States is the reason we celebrate Memorial Day in a big way. The Scouts in Vancouver, Washington, are raising the Garrison flag to memorialize the ultimate sacrifice made.
We're remembering those who have given their lives in defense and protection and security of this nation.
By raising a huge 20 by 38-foot flag, our country shows that a great nation is one that honors the men and women who have died to protect our freedoms.
I've had a couple family members that are pretty closely related to me that have served. One of them in Pearl Harbor.
It's a great way to commemorate the soldiers that fought for our country.
In honor of Memorial Day celebrations across the country, I'm Stephen Redlin, KGW News.
You know, so important to stop and just remember, if only for a moment. And of course, today we thank all of our veterans and their families for their sacrifice. Thank you. Memorial Day weekend, I should say, of course, is also the unofficial start to summer, but some travelers really have had a rough go of it. Hundreds of flights have been canceled across the U.S. over the last few days, many of them including Delta Airlines. Now, Delta pointing to a variety of factors that include bad weather, staff shortages, and rising sick calls due to COVID. Speaking of COVID-19, here is a look at the latest case count from the Oregon Health Authority. It last reported data on Thursday, May 26, with almost 2,000 new cases statewide. That's in a single day. If you look at the orange graph there, you can see daily case counts have been steadily increasing since mid-April, and Multnomah County, just one of the spots, still recommending that people keep wearing their masks indoors. Developing tonight, a 9-year-old girl in Washington is recovering in the hospital after she was attacked by a cougar. The girl was playing outside Saturday in Stevens County, that's near Spokane. The State Department of Fish and Wildlife says these attacks are rare, and this one also appears to be random.
There's nothing in this case that little girl could have done differently. She didn't do anything wrong.
The cougar has since been killed. The department says sightings are becoming more common due to housing developments encroaching into wildlife areas. And one other reason.
Everybody has cameras now, whether it's a cell phone camera, whether it's a Ring doorbell camera, whether it's a game cam. So people are just picking up more wildlife sightings in general.
And officials emphasize attacks are extremely rare. In 2018, a cougar killed a hiker near Mount Hood. That was Oregon's first recorded deadly cougar attack ever.